This week on the Erotic Awakening Podcast, episode 740, Gratitude and Meeting All the Peoples. Welcome to Erotic Awakening, an exploration of all things erotic. If you are offended by adult topics or prohibited by law, it's recommended you stop listening right now. First, as usual, I'd like to thank the amazing patrons of Erotic Awakening. You have kept and continue to keep this show and educational work alive and thriving. A special welcome to our newest supporters, George and Little Miss. If you'd like to be part of the team that supports this continuing community education, head over to patreon.com/eroticawakening and sign up today. Hi, everyone. I'm Dawn, and I am here this week to continue the conversations on power exchange, polyamory, sacred sexuality, and everything in between. Sorry for missing last week, but I've actually been sick for the last week, and it has totally affected my voice. Tonight, it is a little better. And that's a good thing because I have a 3-hour Reiki class to teach in just a little bit. There's going to be more hot liquids and more cough drops and things like that. But getting better, and came up with a couple of ideas for tonight's show and just kind of settled on gratitude. I've got a couple of other topics that I do want to chat about at some point, and I have some interviews that I want to get on here, but tomorrow's Thanksgiving, so why not do it on gratitude, especially with the way my life is changing? It's kind of a good thing to lean into those gratitudes in my life. So this is going to be a short show. Maybe because I do like to talk and I have a lot of people to give shout outs to for this show. But gratitude in general. Now, my kids, they're grown now, but one of the things that they hated was at Thanksgiving, I always made them share a gratitude when we went around the table. We are not a meal prayer sort of family, but for Thanksgiving, I wanted them to have gratitude for something. So they had to share gratitude. And it always seemed to catch them by surprise, even though they knew it was going to happen each year. Now, this year, I sent them Thanksgiving cards. And in the cards, I wrote down there's a tradition of sharing gratitude, and my gratitude is for you. So they don't have to share their gratitudes, but I sent them cards sharing mine. And I just want to continue with that tradition, and maybe I'll have the opportunity to have Thanksgiving dinner with them again at some point, depending on where I end up settling in the next couple of years. But gratitude, how many of you guys have gratitude for finding the kink community? Gratitude for finding other polyamorous people? Gratitude for living at a time where we can explore all of these options? I know I certainly do. The last 25 years, I mean, I've got gratitude for a lot of things before that as well, but I found the kink community around 1998, kind of near the end of 1998. I knew of kink before that, but that's when I found the community, and then dove into it in 1999. Not as many opportunities then as there are now by a long shot, but I have a lot of gratitude for finding the kink community, finding the power exchange community, getting into a power exchange relationship, which made me start my healing path. Yeah, gratitude for all of that. It is now 25 years later, and I have to make sure not to cry with this. When I'm sick, I get a little emotionally thin. But 25 years of being able to explore my authentic self. That is just some powerful shit, right? So meeting people that have taught me so many things, having love in my life by multiple people, right? Having deep friendships with people that I found in the kink community and the poly communities, running events so that other people can find their authentic selves, having the opportunity to run a space in Columbus with friends. And I'm going to tell you, I have a lot of gratitude that we were able to keep those friendships through working together. That was one of the things that had scared Barrick and Sheba and me and Dan, was that we might lose the friendships because everybody warns you, don't work with your friends. Well, we did. We made it work and we continue to be friends. So I have a lot of gratitude for that. A lot of gratitude for the Columbus kink community. Even the leaders in Columbus, it wasn't just Barrick and Sheba and me and Dan. There were other leaders in the kink community in Columbus, and we all worked together. There was a little bit of head butting with some people, but that's okay. That's going to happen. That's group dynamics. But for the most part, the major leaders in Columbus worked together to make sure that we didn't schedule things on the same night, to make sure there weren't any resentments for anything, to make sure that we literally communicated once a quarter. We met in person once a quarter and had these meetings so that we could develop an amazing kink community. I have so much gratitude for that. I can go on, and I will for a little bit. I have gratitude for all the volunteers that have helped our projects over the years, AIS projects, which I was not on staff of or anything, but was a major part of the Columbus community. So all of those volunteers, the volunteers for PXS, Power Exchange Summit, which I was a co-producer of, volunteers for BTL, Beyond the Love, which I was a co-producer of, volunteers for the space. It would not have survived the 5 years it survived without the volunteers. So a lot of gratitude for the people in my life, people nationally. When the separation happened a few months ago, I had people in the community reaching out to me, offering me space, offering me a place, offering me support and friendship, and just I would not be who I am today without the communities that I'm part of, without the friendships that I've made. So, gratitude for the experiences, gratitude for the people, gratitude for things that have been provided for me and things I've been able to provide for other people. I mean, I've got gratitude for having been in a position where I could even do some of the stuff that I've done, and gratitude for the journey I'm on now, right? I am looking from a place of gratitude for what I have right now and the possibilities that are ahead of me. I have gratitude for all the opportunities that are ahead of me, all the classes that I want to teach, all the classes I want to attend, the people that I want to play with, the people that I want to meet, vending opportunities, presenting opportunities, time to spend with my family. I'm getting ready to go spend time with siblings for the holidays. Haven't done that in many years. Opportunity to travel. So, lots and lots of stuff going on. And I just wanted to express that. I have opportunities to have all kinds of podcast topics and teach classes and all of this stuff. And yeah, lots and lots of gratitude. So I invite you guys to look at things that you're grateful for, even on your bad days, and everybody has bad days. Even on your bad days, find something to be grateful for. I actually have a Marco Polo group of women that have been supporting me for the last couple of months. And I was able to go on there today and say, you know what, even on my bad days, I am grateful that I can see the beauty in the world. And I showed them a picture of the sunset that I was witnessing. Beautiful, beautiful. I don't have so much gratitude for the snow that we're getting ready to get, but I do have gratitude for the time that I spent in the desert, something totally foreign to me. Gratitude for the time being in an RV on the road, learning disc golf. I just drove by a disc golf store today thinking, ooh, I need to get some disc and I need to make sure I find disc golf courses on my journey. I bought a membership to Six Flags, so I've got a year's worth of free entry to Six Flags amusement parks. I got it when it was on cheap, cheap, cheap sale on the last day of their season. And just things like that, things that are being put in my path to look at. Anyway, no script here. This is just me rolling off the top of my head, which means I have forgotten something, I'm sure, and the show will be over and I'll be like, damn, I forgot that thing. If that happens, I'll mention it as an aside on the next show, which I already have a topic for, unless I interview somebody before then, which is absolutely possible. Anyway, there's gratitude and time for Thanksgiving. So, like I said, I invite you to look at what you're grateful for. What are you grateful for in the past? What lessons are you grateful for? What are you grateful for that you are looking forward to in the future? What possibilities are you grateful for? Anything like that. I just invite you. And if you want to share those gratitudes with me, I'm going to do this a little early in the show. You can reach out to me at dawn_awakening on Fetlife, Erotic Awakening on Instagram, which I don't check that much. It's easier to get up with me on Fetlife, EA Podcast Dawn on TikTok, or just email me at dawn@eroticawakening.com. I know when I say my name, my East Coast accent comes out sometimes. That's all right. So, the other thing that I'm grateful for, to keep with the theme, is the upcoming events that I have. And I did have someone at a previous event ask me if I could post these somewhere. These are on my FET profile under events that I'm going to, but I will also try to, oh, and they're also on the newsletter that I send out monthly, but I'm also going to try to get them in other places as well. There's so many places, and I forget where I've put it and where I have it. Anyway, if you'd like to share a cup of coffee or conversation with me, which I would thoroughly enjoy, here's where you can find me in person. Naughty Revival. I will be there in Minneapolis in December presenting. Elgin Muncher's Kink Expo. This is outside of Chicago, and I'm going to be there right after Naughty Revival. So mid-December, I think it's December 13th. So I'll be there vending. I'll be working my way towards the East Coast. So kick in Columbus in December as I'm coming through. And then I don't have anything else scheduled yet until Intrigue in Indianapolis in February, where I will be presenting and vending. So keep up with all the places I'm presenting or vending, my online classes, intensives, and retreats, book news, discounts, and more via the Erotic Awakening newsletter. And get your EA shout out like Savannah in Virginia and Little One in Illinois. Head over to eroticawakening.com and subscribe today. So the other thing that I wanted to mention to round out the show is all the people I have met over the last couple of weeks. Not just met, but have seen again or, that I've interacted with. And there have been a lot because I've been doing a lot of things. And it's really cool to me that people are like coming up to me saying hi, letting me know where I know them from, letting me know that they're listening to the podcast. Hell, even Big D. Even Big D let me know he's been listening to the podcast. So that's, yeah. Let's see, where do I start? All right, it's been a couple of weeks since I've done a show. So all the way back to when I was vending at Satyricon up in Madison, I met up with Clemen and Whiskey Helps. So if you guys are listening, thanks for coming up and saying hi. And then at Milwaukee Naughties, so I taught for them a couple of Thursdays ago, and they are up in Milwaukee, like the name says. And what I taught was about different styles of negotiation. And during that class, I was talking about safe words. And then I was talking about how if you can't be vocal, then do something physical as a safe word. And I mentioned like dropping a ball or something like that, dropping an object. Well, later, Crow came up to me and they told me that what they do is they have a light stick, a glowing light stick that they break right before the scene, and then they hold on to that. And that way, if they drop it, it's very visible that it has hit the floor. It's not a ball that's rolling away. It's not a toy that you have to try to find in the dark. So I told them that I was going to be mentioning it on the show. How cool is that? I'm going to start keeping light sticks in my toy bag. Yay, dollar store. Or even my thought was like a bracelet so that you could just put it on and not have to hold on to the light stick, even though holding on to it is part of the thing. Anyway, there's all kinds of creative ways of doing that. I also spoke to Charlie while I was at Milwaukee Naughties, and they were interested in the leather archives and museum that I was talking about. So a little bit of shared knowledge there. I love to tell people about the leather archives. Many don't know that it exists. Also in Milwaukee, I saw Angel. An Angel came up to me and told me that they had heard of the Kickstarter cards like 3 years ago and didn't know where to find them, and then saw my bio for the class and I mentioned Kickstarter cards. They came out specifically to buy a deck of Kickstarter cards. That was really cool. We had really good conversation. And then there was a few other people that I didn't get their names. Sometimes I forget to get names until I'm like third or fourth person in. And then I'm like, hey, wait a minute, what am I doing? I can give shout outs to these people. So there were a few more people that came up to me and said hi to you guys. Hi as well. So one in particular said that they came because they listened to the podcast. So I really wish I had gotten your name next time. And then at BizBaz in Minneapolis. What fun. That was a vendor expo, and there was what, probably about 40 vendors. I didn't even get a chance to go around and check out the other vendors because I was busy. I was constantly talking to people. A few of them were Jazzy and Revel, and I'm hoping to have Revel on the show at some point, and we will talk about that later. And then there was Douglas Blue Eyes, who had also heard of the cards on the podcast and came out and got a deck of cards. And then there was someone that came to me, and I did not get their name, and that's okay. They had come to Naughty Revival last year and had taken mine and Dan's class called Broken Vase. And it was a class about being a junkie and a trauma survivor that came into the kink community and healed through the kink community. And because of that class, this person decided to take care of themselves and find some resources and great conversation. Again, ooh, I could cry over this one. How do I even word this? So, as a trauma survivor, I have a lot of gratitude that I have space to where I can use what I learned to heal from my past to help other people. That my stories, not that I talk about my trauma, but my stories of how I healed from it. I have space to share that. That helps other people. And that's my journey right now. That is what I am focusing on at this part of my life. And like I said, I have a lot of gratitude for that. So, lots and lots of people, and so many more that I didn't get names of. I wanted to make sure to mention you guys. You guys remind me of why I'm doing this, okay? And I'll continue to do this. This is my passion, and I love spending time with you guys. So again, when I'm at an event, feel free to come and say hi. I like to chit chat. Now, Naughty Revival, holy cow. I've got 4 classes, 2 classes I want to take, and I haven't even looked at the classes that are in the same slots as my classes because I will have FOMO. But there are 2 classes that I want to take during the times I'm not teaching, so I have to decide between the classes and a nap. But anyway, 4 classes that I'm teaching, and then 4 scenes set up. How cool is that? One of them where I'll be priestess topping. That is probably going to be the next show, priestess topping. Anyway, more tentacles and werewolves from Enigma and Travare over on the Discord channel. Yay! And all the things. So again, Thanksgiving is here, the holidays are here. What kind of gratitudes do you have? Be a part of the Erotic Awakening Podcast community. You can become a patron of the show and get early access to the ad-free version of the podcast, a free copy of the audiobook Polyamory Toolkit, free ebooks, discounts on monthly Zoom classes, member-only Discord access, and more. Find all the goodies at patreon.com/eroticawakening today. And then help others find us. Take a moment to support the podcast. Give us high ratings wherever you listen to the podcast. And most importantly, tell your friends about the show. And join the conversation with other listeners. Today we're sharing pet pictures. Use the links from the Erotic Awakening website for our interactive Discord channel. Until next time, may your journey be filled with passion, joy, and a bit of naughtiness. Bye, everyone.